Holly, so great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out for the program. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So before we get into your work, I always start my interviews with 5 years ago, this pandemic changed so many things
Mhm.
about our lives and what we were doing. How did you get through that COVID pandemic, and how has it changed or affected the way that you live life and conduct business today?
It did a lot of goodness for me personally.
Yeah.
I was able to really dive into doing even more personal work
Hmm.
than that I had done in the past and learn what was important to me. I think that that time was a restful time, even though there was so much chaos. We were forced in our homes to think about, okay, what really matters. And that was a great time for me to decide, okay, I really do love helping people and coaching and to dedicate more time to that.
So let's get into exactly what you do on a daily basis. And the best way to do that is to have kids get in front of kids because they always get the truth out of us. It's career day, they're 12 years old, and one of the kids is like, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer them?
I get to help women change their lives to decide that, I'm not super happy with everything because I've done a lot. I've been a mom, a wife, a boss, an employee, and I know there's something more. And so I help them up level their lives, find out what they might feel is missing, and jump into a life that's beautiful.
So, what did you want to be at 12 years old? When you were a kid, what was your dream career, dream life?
Well, when I was actually in fourth grade, I remember this vividly. We sat around cross legged with the teacher, and she went all around the circle. It got to me. All the other girls were, I want to be a mommy. I want to be a teacher. And it got to me, and I said, I want to be a rock star. And all the other kids laughed, and including the teacher, she laughed. And I was like, oh, my little heart felt broken. I live that now through speaking.
Yeah.
I can dazzle on stages and have done so. That to me is being in my rock star element. So, in a way, I have fulfilled that rock star dream.
So take me back to your beginnings. Where were you born and raised? What were these foundational elements of dreaming big, of getting to a point where you fulfilled your dreams? Obviously, you're successful and highly motivated. What were all of those foundational elements that have led to who you are today?
I was raised in Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah, very conservative background.
Mhm.
And I never quite felt like I fit into that mold.
Yeah.
I knew there was more out there and did what I was supposed to, the parental raising. I was sexually abused when I was young, from the ages of 6 to 8. And that was quite, uh, I've, I've learned to accept it and actually be grateful for it because I know it forged something in me that wouldn't have been there otherwise.
Yeah.
And it was my grandfather, my father's father. And as a result, my father felt horrible and he ended up leaving my mom and I. And so it was just she and I to us against the world. I saw her go back to school to become a nurse. And that instilled in me the need for education
Yeah.
to be, to not have to depend on anyone else to take care of me, to be able to do it on my own. And I was always super smart. School was easy for me, and it was a no brainer that I would pursue my education.
So I'm curious. You wanted to be a rock star. What was the first concert that you saw? What was the first show that blew you away that made you think, I want to be up there one day?
Well, the first show I saw was Tears for Fears.
Okay. That's a good one.
That was a good show. I was like probably 14ish when I saw them, 13, 14. I knew that I wanted to be up on stage from a young little kid. I was always performing in my neighborhood. I was the star in the, you know, second grade play, things like that. I
Yeah.
loved being in front of people. And I was an only child and I learned to perform and to be charming and to with adults as well as, even more so than other kids.
Yeah. So another big influence on your life has obviously been Tony Robbins.
Yes.
What was the first? Because I remember when I was a kid, there was like two main commercials in the 80s that were coming up. It was the Book of Mormon, and then it was Tony Robbins. He had his tapes,
You're right.
right?
Yeah.
Or it was Jane Fonda, or it was some kind of exercise thing. But there was
Yes.
about two or three different genres. And I always remember Tony being on there. So I'm curious, what was the first time that you saw his image and was pulled into what he was doing and it became a part of your lexicon?
For me, it was watching the Netflix documentary, I'm Not Your Guru.
Okay. Yeah.
That I was in a deep depression. I had lost a baby and was unable to get pregnant after that. So my dreams of becoming a mother had dissipated.
Yeah.
I was really in a really super dark place and felt like, gosh, I don't know how I'm even going to get out of this. I saw that documentary and I told my husband, I'm like, you got to watch this with me. We watched it. And at the end, I said, we are going to Date with Destiny.
Yeah.
And there was one coming up that December. We went and it was life changing.
Yeah.
I took that as, okay, this is my ticket out of the despair
Yeah.
and the sadness and the darkness. And it was wild because Tony actually called me up on stage the last
Wow.
day of the event and we did a process in front of 5,000 people. And talk about living the rock star moment. I rocked that stage. I owned it and I harnessed that energy to be momentum and propel me into a better life.
Wow.
5,000 people on their chairs cheering for me.
That's great.
And there was a question that Tony asked, what would you have to forget to go back to living the way you used to live in that dark place? And I said, I would have to forget that I am a queen. And I ceremoniously crowned myself and walked on that stage like a queen, holding court. It felt so good. I felt seen and
Yeah.
heard and valued. And in that moment, I realized it's not me against the world having to do it all on my own. All of these people are on team me
Yeah.
and I am on team them.
Yeah.
And in that moment, it shifted to where now I am volunteering for the Tony Robbins organization as a senior leader. I serve and I've been on Tony's stage again and spoken and have also facilitated one of his events, Life Mastery, on stage for even more people. So it's
Wow.
really changed my life.
So this is a natural lead into my next question. Who has ultimately been that inspirational force consistently in your life for you to find your dream, your place, and to live successfully? Who's been that for you?
It would be Tony
Yeah.
Robbins. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
were you nervous when you got on stage, or was it
No.
what's his energy like when you're next to him? Is it
Oh
just
my gosh. Okay. Well, he's a giant.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, he's a big
6'8".
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big guy. And his energy is powerful. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's not, it's powerful and benevolent.
Yeah.
Some super big guys, it can be daunting. For me, it wasn't at all. And that's my element to be on stage in front of people. And I owned it and I
Yeah.
owned my power. When I've been up on stage since with him, it would be very easy. And I've seen other people kind of shrink when they get on stage with him because he is such a big personality and energy. And not me.
Yeah.
I owned it. And
Yeah.
the crowds have really loved me and I've been well received. And it's been powerful to be in my power and also have Tony cry when I tell my story. When
Yeah.
I got on stage with him, I was 276 pounds.
Yeah.
And now I'm less than 130. I'm at 129. So that was from a lot of hard work and dedication. That was back in 2018. So I lost it slowly with hard work and determination, personal training, working out, eating well.
Yeah.
He has seen my transformation and yeah, it brought tears to his eyes. And I mean, it's like, oh, I made my mentor cry
That's
with
it.
joy. So it's pretty neat.
That's beautiful. So Speaking of that slow thing of losing weight, getting where you want to be, helping other people, it's a daily thing. It's a
Yes.
daily grind. What is it that ultimately gets you to wake up when that alarm goes off, hit the ground, take care of business, take care of your own soul? What is that collective energy for you every day?
The collective energy is waking up and being grateful
Yeah.
and also putting a smile on my face. That is has been my big secret weapon, so to speak. I found when I was at working out and I was still pretty heavy, I was in a dance club cardio class and they have the big mirrors on the wall. And I saw my reflection in the mirror as I'm doing the steps. And I was really serious. And I'm like, I did not look friendly or like a person that anyone would want to be friends with. I was in such thought and like dismay, even that, oh, I can't do this right. And I thought, ooh, I don't like that. I don't, the way I look is kind of like off-putting. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to smile because we all like, better smiling, in my opinion, at least. And that smile I put on my face, I kept on, and I became known as the smiley chick in the dance class. People then, it was this wave of, wow, all these different people were like, oh, I love your energy. You're so fun. And oh, I wish I could smile all the time. And it's like, oh, you can.
Yeah.
And so I've integrated that in really everything I do. A smile is free, it's easy, and people respond. People
Yeah.
respond in kind. So I wake up, put a smile on my face, and whatever I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's interesting when you're talking about helping women get out of that fog of living their lives for others and finding their purpose. How did this become the real calling for you? How did you realize this was going to be a fit for you?
I was that woman
Yeah.
wondering, okay, like here I am, midlife. I've done a lot, and I know there's more.
Yeah. Yeah. So, as a speaker on stage, was it actually, let me revert back. Let me ask you this. He's operated as this mentor that's helped you transform your life. You're doing the same thing in your life with others. What has been one of the best responses, letters, feedback that you've gotten from somebody that you've done the same thing to them? You've passed that torch on.
Seeing women, and I have one client who I've worked with her for almost a year now, private coaching, and she has really transformed her life. She was having difficulties with a relationship with her daughter, unhappy at work, unhappy in her, intimate relationship, and she has gained a lot of ease with her life now.
Yeah.
She realizes that she doesn't have to be the smother mother that is micromanaging her adult daughter's life, and that she can really ease into life, accept herself, and see that she is still that fun, beautiful, vibrant person that she was in her 20s.
Yeah.
And she has been very grateful and has referred me out to a lot of other women who I've been able to help as well.
So let me ask you this. If you had a dream tonight, you ran into that 12-year-old version of you, and you went up and you had a book in your hands, and it was like a picture book, and it was your life, and you gave it to that young version, and your young version's confused, and you're like, that's how my life worked out. Would that young version believe it?
Ooh, I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not, because she felt very broken and misunderstood and pretty much no self-esteem or self-worth. So I would say no, she wouldn't believe. It would take quite a bit of loving that inner child, and that's some of the work I've done is inner child work,
Yeah.
where I've looked at that little person, that little me that I used to be, and have comforted her and said, "Holla," because that was my nickname. "Holla, it's
Yeah.
okay. You're loved.
Yeah.
You're safe.
Yeah.
I
So
have you."
absolutely. So I'm curious, being on stage delivering speeches, You've obviously witnessed wonderful ones with Tony, but is there somebody else out there that one of the best speeches that you've ever seen? Maybe it's him, but who's been the best speech that you've ever witnessed?
Oh, I really like Jamie Kern Lima.
Okay.
I love her energy. She's really positive. She's vulnerable
Hmm.
and she's real.
Yeah.
I think that makes a huge difference.
For helping people find to get out of that fog of their lives and find their purpose, especially at midlife, there's a level of risk that goes into it. What is the biggest risk that you've taken in your career that was a big, corner rounder for you to find where you're at today?
I was a professor, a business professor for 13 years, and it was great. I loved it. I love educating and I love being, sharing knowledge and helping. Again, it was another way of helping people uplift their lives.
Yeah.
And the school that I worked for closed. And so here I was. Do I get another teaching job? What do I do? And so I took some time and evaluated, okay, what am I good at? What really drives me? I didn't want to have a 9 to 5 gig. And so going out on my own, starting my own business really felt like it was the right thing to do. And I had my husband's support as well to follow my dreams. And so I did. I did even more inner work, did some coaching training that was, actual certification training. Even though I'd been doing it for years, I thought, oh, I'll get a certificate as well. And I jumped in.
The one thing that you did mention is, you've gone through some trauma in your life and you look back and you've embraced it. I think that's a hard thing for a lot of people to do.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you were at that dark moment before you met Tony or, the abuse that you went through younger in your life. But when you look at your life in a rearview mirror now, do you see those moments of being pivotal things that if you had the chance to erase either of those from happening, would you?
No,
Okay.
I have, and Tony says this, that life is working for me, not happening to me.
Yeah.
And I really believe that there's a silver lining. There are learnings and lessons in everything that we go through, as ugly as they may be.
Yeah.
I would not wish abuse or grief on anyone or any of the other number of things that I've experienced in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful they happened because they've they were the crucible in which I came together and formed this beautiful version of me that I love. I can actually say that I love myself where even, 8 years ago, I was not able to say I didn't even like myself, let alone love myself.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Of everything that you've done, everything that you've accomplished and evolved to at this point in your life, what are you the proudest of?
Wow. I'm the proudest of loving me,
Yeah.
valuing me and my gifts. I wasn't able to own my worth before. It was, oh, I couldn't take a compliment. Oh, whatever. Oh, this old thing. And learning to love myself now, someone says, you're beautiful. And it's like, thank you. And it's not I know, thank you. It's I feel that, thank you. And I believe you. And I feel it too. So that I would have to say is something that I'm most proud of.
So let's take this one step further. Everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, everyone that knows you, but you run the show. What is your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I am creative. I am fun. I am quirky and I do things in fun, interesting ways. When I was a professor, I didn't just have the normal, they had the curriculum they had to learn. I One of my most fun classes was a strategic planning class
Yeah.
on the MBA level, and I had the students do skits for their end of course presentations instead of the okay, here's the PowerPoint and I'm
Yeah.
just reading my notes. I said, okay, you've got to choose a company within your group, do a strategic plan. You have to have all of the elements. And I want you to do some sort of a skit, singing. They at first were like, And some of the students were like, what does this have to do with getting an MBA? And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, trust me. And then others had been in my courses before and said, hey, she's cool, just let's play along.
Yeah.
And at the end, I had the most compliments for that I'd ever had from my students. And they even told the dean of the college, like, hey, this was a lot of fun. And they rented costumes and got up there, and it was a blast.
Yeah.
And so I do things in a way that people may not necessarily remember the exact content.
Yeah.
They're going to remember whether it's a transformation or a learning in a class. And I do teach a lot of courses as well, in self improvement.
Yeah.
They'll remember how they felt and the energy, and that is what is going to carry them forward in with the goodness, rather than, here's a bunch of stuff that you need
Yeah.
to learn and being droll. So I approach things in a fun way, and I am able to connect with people. I
Mhm.
have a presence.
Yeah.
When I'm with someone, I am with someone.
Yeah.
I am not, doing the phone scroll, the scroll on. Now we have our smartwatches that we can look
Yeah.
at our texts. I am there
Yeah.
with someone, and that presence, I feel like I can see into their souls. And anytime a person feels seen, they're able to open up even more.
Absolutely. So if anyone has questions, they want to hire you, they want to get 8 ways to ignite your inner spark, any of the good work, any of the good business, where do they go?
Fireuplife.com.
Okay.
That's FIREUPLIFE.com, or Holly, HOLLY, at fireuplife.com.
Okay, excellent. I will put all of these links in the show notes. This has been absolutely wonderful. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your story. Best of luck.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you.